In Genesis 40, two men in prison have dreams about bread and wine. One dream brings life, the other brings death. Why does one man live while the other dies? What do their dreams have to say about us today? Joseph is in prison when two of Pharaoh's officials are thrown in with him, the chief cupbearer and the chief baker. They each have a dream. The cupbearer dreams of a vine with 3 branches, which buds and bears ripe grapes. He squeezes them into Pharaoh's cup. Joseph tells him that in 3 days, Pharaoh will restore him to his position. The baker, on the other hand, dreams of 3 baskets of bread on his head. But birds swoop down and eat the bread. Joseph tells him that in 3 days, Pharaoh will hang him. The bread and wine appear in both dreams, yet their outcomes are entirely different. What do these symbols teach us about life and death? Bread and wine. We've heard these terms before. We know they represent Yeshua's body, the bread, and his blood, the wine. But what if there's more to these symbols than we realize? What if these symbols are telling us not just what happened, but how they affect us today? The bread points to the Torah, the teachings and commands of God, the Word made flesh in Yeshua. The wine represents the blood of Messiah, the new covenant that gives us forgiveness and empowers us to live out His Word. But here's the deeper question. How do these symbols change the way we live today? Let's look at the baker. He's carrying bread for Pharaoh, but it's exposed. The bread is uncovered, vulnerable, and the birds swoop down to eat it. It never reaches Pharaoh. This image shows us something important. Bread without wine. The Torah without Messiah's grace is incomplete. While the Torah shows us what is righteous, it is through Messiah's blood that we are able to live it out and find forgiveness when we fall short. Without Messiah's grace, Torah can become a burden, like the legalism of the Pharisees, who knew the law but lacked love, mercy, and obedience to the heart of the law. It is a faith that is dry, empty, and without life, but there is also a deeper layer to this story. The birds in the baker's dream are not just eating bread, they represent judgment. They are like the birds described in Revelation 19, verses 17 to 18, where the birds are summoned to devour the flesh of those who have rebelled against God. In Revelation 19, verses 17 to 18, it says, I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried out in a loud voice to all the birds flying in mid-air, Come, gather together for the great supper of God, so that you may eat the flesh of kings, the flesh of commanders, the flesh of mighty men, the flesh of horses and their riders, and the flesh of all people, free and slave, great and small. Here, the birds are summoned to feast on the flesh of those who have rejected God's ways. Just like the baker's fate, these birds represent final judgment, the consequence of living apart from God's grace and His Torah. So, the baker's fate is a vivid picture of what happens when we live outside of God's grace. Without the wine of Messiah's blood, the bread of Torah becomes vulnerable to judgment, a life without mercy, and ultimately, without life. Now, let's consider the cupbearer. He dreams of a vine with 3 branches, and he squeezes the grapes into Pharaoh's cup. His dream comes to life. The wine brings restoration. But here's the catch. Wine without bread is just as incomplete. Faith in Messiah's blood without a life that reflects His word leads to a shallow faith. It's like saying, I'm saved by grace, but ignoring the teachings of Yeshua that show us how to live rightly. The baker and the cupbearer had different outcomes, but both of their dreams point to the same truth. We need both the bread, the Torah, and the wine, Messiah's blood, to live a life that leads to restoration. The bread shows us what is right, what is good, and what is true. The wine empowers us to live out that truth and brings forgiveness when we fail. Without both, we are missing something vital. Joseph's dreams are not random. They follow a very Hebraic understanding of time. The 3 branches on the vine and the 3 baskets on the baker's head both point to 3 days. In Hebraic space-time thinking, the number of things seen in a dream often points to the length of time that will follow. We see this clearly in Pharaoh's dream. 7 fat cows and 7 thin cows represented 7 years of plenty and 7 years of famine. In the same way, the 3 days in the dreams of the cupbearer and the baker point to the exact time when their fates would be decided. This connection between quantity and time helps us understand something important. In the Bible, numbers and symbols are often more than things we count. They are tied to prophetic timing and to God's plan. In the end, the story of the baker and the cupbearer reveals a choice. One man lives and is restored. The other is condemned. This brings to mind the 2 thieves hanging next to Yeshua on the cross. One thief mocks him, rejecting the offer of grace. In the Hebraic tradition, it is as if he is being plucked by the birds of judgment, just like the bread was consumed by birds in the baker's dream. The other thief, however, humbly asks, "Remember me when you come into your kingdom." And Yeshua responds, "Truly, I say to you today, you will be with me in paradise." While this does not mean the thief will immediately enter heaven, Yeshua assures him that there will be a time after death when they will be together in God's presence after the resurrection. This thief, like the cupbearer, is restored, invited to share in the king's future kingdom. So the baker and the cupbearer are not just characters from a distant story. They are like the 2 thieves, standing before us as examples of how we respond to grace and judgment. One thief faced rejection and judgment. The other received mercy and restoration. What about us today? Do we know the word, the bread, but fail to let the blood of Messiah, the wine, shape how we live? Or do we focus only on grace and forgiveness, but forget the teachings of Yeshua, the bread, that call us to a life of righteousness? Let us remember this. We need both. The Torah shows us the path to life. Messiah's sacrifice gives us the grace and the power to walk that path. When we partake of the bread and the wine, we are not just remembering a historical event. We are receiving both the word of life and the blood that gives life. So, as we reflect on these symbols, especially as we remember them during Passover, let us ask ourselves, am I living out both the bread and the wine of Messiah? If this message resonates with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And do not forget to subscribe to our channel and help us share this truth with the world.